Hey everybody, Marcus here with Daily Adaptation. This is level 1, day 3 of your circuit training. Today we're going to be working in the frontal plane, which means moving lateral. So our first exercise is going to be lateral bear crawls. Now again, this is just a demo. If you want to find all the other stuff, go to my other playlist where it's the full workout. So we're going to start the lateral here in just a second. So lateral bear crawls. Hands are going to be together, feet are going to be apart, just like this. Moving lateral with opposite arm to opposite leg, keeping the hands underneath the line of the chest and shoulders and not allowing them to come too far out in front, just like that, and then back and forth in that position. 60 seconds total for the exercise. Our second exercise is going to be lateral, kneeling to halfway standing. With the shoulders back, the abdominals in, the feet dorsiflex. Bring your leg lateral, using your opposite foot as a fulcrum, standing up halfway to that point, and then sliding lateral back and forth. Nice and smooth. It pays to go slow here for several reasons. Make sure that you're not banging your knee down into the ground. I have a nice squishy mat that I can do that on. Most people are going to have carpet, so just keep that in mind as we move. Our third exercise in bilateral stabilization is going to be our lateral crab crawls. Lateral crab crawls are going to be set up just like this. The feet are going to be pointed forward. Fingertips are going to be pointing forward. Lift your hips up as high as you feel comfortable. Opposite arm to opposite leg as I move lateral, just like that. The higher the hips go, the harder the exercise. The lower the hips are, the easier the exercise. Again, 60 seconds total in the exercise. Back and forth. Take as many times as you need to. Our fourth and final bilateral stabilization in this position is going to be the standing lateral squat walk. Both feet point straight forward. Drop down, pinch your shoulder blades back and together. Sit your hips back. Tiny, tiny steps, staying as deep as you possibly can, being mindful that your hip does not turn out to the side. We're trying to create as much symmetry as possible. So that is our bilateral stabilization. After we finish that round, you're going to go right into your cardio, right? Either high knees, mountain climbers down on the floor, jumping jacks, whatever you want to do in that time period. I recommend just doing high knees for about 15 seconds just to bring your heart rate up, okay? Next, we're going to move into the primaries. So we've got our TRX. We're going to do inside grip chest press. So hooking the handles underneath the armpits. Arms at the side, just like this. Slowly dropping down, pinching your shoulder blades back and together, pausing, press yourself out, just like that. 60 seconds. Going right from that one into feet, shoulder width apart squats this time. Last time we had them narrow, this time we're going to have them shoulder. Dropping as deep as you possibly can, engaging your glutes, standing right back up. 60 seconds. Third exercise in the primary is going to be our high row. Pulling the elbows back in line with the shoulders, pinching, retracting everything. 60 seconds, nice and smooth. We're not going to hurry through these movements. Fourth exercise is going to be our lateral lunge. Lunging to the side, pressing yourself back to center. Lunging to the side, pressing yourself back to center. Again, not rushing your movements. All right, so those are the primaries. Then you'll go into your high knees for 15 seconds there. You can choose to repeat up to 3 times in each modality and then move on to the next group. Next one is going to be the secondaries. So this time with hammer grip, tricep extension. So grabbing the TRX like this, hammer grip, bend the elbows so they come to the side of the forehead, extend right back out, 60 seconds. Moving from that right into glute kickouts. Simply using the floor, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, extending out that right glute, drawing the abdominals in so the back doesn't arch, bringing it right back in, and extending out 60 seconds each leg. Moving on from that, right back into another secondary exercise for the upper body, bicep curl, but this time, hammer grip. Curling into the side of the forehead, pausing, controlled and smooth right back down, 60 seconds. Fourth and final on those secondaries, going right back to our adduction squeeze, but this time with the squeeze, instead of the feet being on the ground, I'm simply going to have my legs up into the air in this position. It changes the dynamic of the exercise just slightly as it starts to include the abdominals as well. Last round, last thing we need to do in this position is the core. So the core, again, is 4 exercises for those muscle groups: the rectus abdominals, the transverse abdominals, the lower back, and the oblique. So for this one, for the rectus abdominals, we're going to simply do leg raises, making sure that your lower back stays flat to the ground, hands underneath your butt, at your side, or behind your head, 60 seconds. Into our plank, single leg raises. Into our Superman, in this position, arms out straight, legs out straight, lifting up the opposite arm to opposite leg, back and forth. And then finally, our side plank, dropping that hip up and down as our progression for this day. Both sides, each 60 seconds. Again, in between each phase, our bilateral stabilization, moving to our primaries, there is a cardio interval in there. Okay, about 15 seconds worth. I recommend just doing high knees. It's the simplest one to do. In between the primaries to the secondaries, there is a cardio interval. From the secondaries to the core, there is a cardio interval. You can do each phase, bilateral, primary, secondary, stabilizer, and core, 1 to 3 times consecutively before moving on to the next bracket. Okay, everybody, this is level 1, day 3 of your circuit training.